All right. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Wow. What an amazing 2022. I don't know if we're going to see another year like that with so many changes. We're going to talk about the changes in the Ocala, Marion County, Florida real estate market in 2022, a little bit of a prognostication at the end of this video about where I think the market is going. So we're going to talk about that. As you can tell by the scroll, 2,500 homes, actually just over 2,500 homes on the market in Marion County at MLS. And of course, you know, Marion County is a massive area. Been in this marketplace since, actually lived here since 1995. And we've been in real estate here on Silver Springs Boulevard since 2004. So we know the market, we understand it. This crazy graph that you're looking at here is one of the things that we're going to cover. We're going to cover, you know, the number of sales that we've seen over the years, specifically in 2022, active number of listings and how that's changed over the course of last year. You know, how long are homes selling? How long is it taking to get a home sold? And also, you know, average sales price to see, you know, did prices drop? Are they continuing to drop? And what are we going to see into the future? That's basically what we're going to be covering right now. So thank you for joining me. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. If you want to comment, you know, leave it in the chat section. Obviously, for the folks that are watching right now, we're live. Yes, we're live. I'm right here on Silver Springs Boulevard. But if you watch this later, leave your comments in the chat section. I'd be happy to answer any questions as well. As you can tell, it says here, you know, over 2,500 homes on the market, and then rental inventory being tight, and that's true. We need more rentals. We actually do property management and rentals here. So if that's a thing for you, you have a home you want to rent out, or if you need information on that, you can connect with me at 352-572-3796. We've got a property management division that I can refer you to the right person for sure. But let's jump into it. So what we're looking at here is, let's look at the data. That's the chart. Let's look at the data chart. And, you know, basically when we're looking at the number of sales, okay, you know, early part of 2022 actually started off a little bit slow in the 700s and really picked up steam. March being the peak, actually the most amount of homes that have sold in this marketplace, actually second most, was March of this year. First most was April of 2021, 1,054. And then we've seen a decrease in sales. That's really the tale of you know, of a year. Like there's two tails in this year. Beginning part being amazing, interest rates go up, inflation fears go up, and then of course less sales. We bottomed out at 646 in November, and then started to pick up again at 694. Now these numbers, like if you look at from February of 2021 all the way through October of 2022, we jumped over 700, and many times we jumped over 800, 900, and even 1,000 in 3 different months. Those were outstanding months in sales. But keep in mind, this market has traditionally been a 600, upper 500, 600, 700 homes per month. And the last 5 years, typically a 700 to 800 home market per month. So we're actually more in a normal-ish marketplace where the number of, if you look at the number of homes that have sold, very similar to 2016, 2017. That's where we are. We're in a 2016, 2017 cadence as far as number of homes that are selling every month. So not a disaster. If we were like 300 homes sold, like, oh my gosh, that's a real disaster. That's not what we're looking at. So now let's look at active number of listings. So let's look at inventory, how many homes are actually on the market, and what's the traditional number. You know, we're over 2,500 homes now. You know, this chart's a little bit deceiving, but it tells you at least the trend line as to what we typically see. Back in 2016, about 4,600 homes. 2018, pretty similar. 2020, inventory drops like a rock. 2021, the same thing. You're looking at in the 2000s and under 2000. And in fact, the low, if you look at the low early part of this year and also last year, we were in the 800s, 800 to 900 range as far as number of homes on MLS in Marion County, which is, you know, southern end villages, Orange Blossom Hills, places like Del Webb, Spruce Creek, and the 55 plus areas, Summer Glen, Marion Oaks, Silver Spring Shores in the east, Ocala Waterway in the west, Stone Creek also in the west, 55 plus, what used to be known as Trilogy, kind of a mixed adult versus non 55 plus, and horse farms. It includes all of this, mobile homes, residential, the whole thing in Marion County, Denellen, Reddick. So inventory obviously has gone up. What's really interesting is that the inventory has actually leveled off. Like inventory actually, I think we got over 3,000 at some point this in 2022, but then came back down. 27, 28, we kind of hovered in that area, and then has come down to 2,500 and has really stayed in that realm over the last 2 to 3 months. So we've seen a lot of a plateau, even though traditionally you would think, well, the last part of the year would be a little bit slower because of the holidays. We've actually really held our own here in Marion County in the Ocala area. So that's something to really look at. Now, let's look at how long homes are actually selling. What's the days on market? What's happening here? And days on market as in, we put a home on the market on MLS, put it up for sale, and then how long is it taking to get a contract at that point? Okay. So, well, 2016, 60, 70, 80 days, very normal. Came down to 2021. These are average, 25, 19, 27, 22. There were times in 2021 where homes it felt like 3 minutes. Like some homes sold in hours and have multiple offers. We saw a lot of that in late 2020 into 2021, a little bit of that in the spring of 2022. And then of course, days on market went down 19, May, June of 2022. And I think that was just like, oh my gosh, we better buy something. Interest rates are jumping. We were in the upper 2s to 3s, and then like, oh, we better do this, lock it in, let's go. 4, 5, 6, right? And then obviously 7 on the interest rate side. That obviously affect our marketplace. Then now we're seeing 38, 43 days. I think a little bit of a sneak peek. We're going to see more of that into 2023, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's look at sales price. Let's look at what's happened there. Average sales price, Marion County, Ocala. Average, if you look at 2016, the average sales price was in the 160, 150 range, depending on what month you're looking at it. Now look at 6 years later, 2022, we jumped up to 306, 37, 310, 321, the lower 300s. And then December, we saw a low of 287. But very similar to 2021 numbers. Okay, this is very interesting. I've got to share this story with you. What's super interesting to me is that, if we look at the villages market, like we do a lot of business in the villages, which is, the northern end of the villages is on the southern end of Marion County, and the villages saw a different result. Now, if you look at the villages, very, very much a 55 plus, the 55 plus communities, we saw the same thing in Marion County, where they were very much affected by inflation. And what happened is that stock market was impacted by inflation and interest rate fears, all of that. So retirees were really highly impacted by less value in their retirements. And I think that really, really affected their confidence in buying a home. So we saw an impact in Marion County. Most of the buyers in Marion County are either retirees that are doing, they'll put significant amount of money down, or they're going to be a lot of first-time homeowners that are using FHA or VA, and interest rates also play a major role because the affordability factor comes in. With that being said, we've seen less of an impact in Marion County. Like the Marion County market has really, really held its own. So we've jumped up in inventory, went from the 800s to over 2,500, as you can see. But the typical inventory count in this marketplace is like well over 3,500 into 4,000, and we haven't gone over there. Now, I suspect that we're going to see a tighter market in the sense that I think inventory will grow into 2023. So getting into our prognostication, what's next? We're probably going to go over 3,000 consistently in this marketplace, the latter part of 2023. But we're also going to see a similar amount of sales happening. So it looks like interest rates have leveled off. Maybe they're going to go up. I've heard some rumors they're actually going to go down to the fives. That could be a reason to wait a little bit, or not. You buy now and then you could always refi later. So that's a thing. But what I'm seeing is a very similar market to 2016 to 2018. Nothing crazy, not like market crash, like it's going to drop 25%, or no big jumps up. A very normal, like we're going to just kind of floating along. Actually, very much a boring marketplace, right? As opposed to 2022, that saw wild jump down, and then of course 2020 and 2021 wild jumps up. I think we're seeing a very plateauish type market. I think that prices might come down a little bit, maybe 3 to 5%, perhaps. We've seen that in the average sales price, but I don't think it's going to be a big enough difference to say let's wait for prices to come down. Right? I don't think we're seeing a 10 to 20% drop from here. I think we might be seeing a 3 to 5% drop, but that being the case, that means interest rates might have gone up too, and it's going to balance out. Because if interest rates drop to the fives, I think we're going to see less inventory, increase in sales again, because now it's more affordable, if that makes sense. So that's what I see. Leave your comments. If you have questions, let me know. You can also call me 352-572-3796. Several of you have done that over the last 30 days, and I can help you find the right home or sell your home, whichever. Glenn Stein, broker here. Happy New Year, everybody. Take care.